Hi, welcome to my introduction to the watercolor set video. We're going to be talking about the Prang Oval 16 set that you got in your student art kit. Inside there is an included brush. It's a pretty nice brush, kind of multi-purpose. Before you are going to use the brush, you need to wet it and get rid of any glue that they put inside the tip to keep it nice during shipping. Okay, then it'll be ready to use. You just rinse it in a little bit of water and it'll be ready to go. Okay. Watercolor sets usually come with several colors, minimum maybe 8, maximum maybe 24 or even 64 in a very large tray. The set you've got by Prang is really nice. It's got a lot of good colors that you can use. The color you'll use least probably will be white. The second least useful will be black. Watercolor sets are come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. For example, when I'm traveling, I'll use this set. And you can see it's got a lot of remnants from projects of the past. Pretty much the same colors or similar colors, more earth tones perhaps. Place for your thumb so you can hold it while your painting's standing up. And the lid removes so you can wash it pretty easily. The lid with a watercolor set is your palette, so it's where you'll do all of your mixing. Here's a set I used when I'm at home. It's a little bit larger. It's got kind of a custom color set made from 2 other sets of watercolors. So I've sort of crammed in maybe double the amount of paint to get all the colors I really wanted. And then it's got a built-in palette, 2 of them. One's kind of on a little level tray, and then the other built into the lid. And the lid does remove on this one as well. Additionally, sometimes it's hard to tell what color is what, especially in a set with a lot of good greens and darks. So I actually have a key, and the colors in the key are arranged exactly like they are in the set. I don't always reference it, but sometimes if something's really important, I need to double check, I've got that reference. The other side of it I use to check colors when I'm on location, painting, and I want to make sure I've got the right value or tone. When you're using watercolors, they are already wet. That's why they're called semi-moist. That means there's something in them that keeps them a little bit moist. It's gum. Think of tree sap, something like that. It's inside each and every one of these little cakes. And when you add water, you get paint. It activates pretty quickly, and to check it, you just go to your palette, and there you go. You can see I've already got some orange. To make more orange or a larger amount of this puddle, I can go from my water source directly to the puddle and add water. Now keep in mind, by adding water, I am thinning the paint, which means it's actually getting lighter. So go back to the original color. You'll see it's pretty heavy. Put it on the paper, pretty noticeable. Now if I take some water and add it to that, it's going to dilute it. And it'll get a lighter color. So think of water as your white. In other words, you're almost always going to be working on white paper. So watercolor needs you to remember where those white places are. Now you can cheat and add white later, but it's never the same. The white of the watercolor set is opaque, meaning it's solid. It's not transparent like all the other colors. So it doesn't look the same. It's useful for certain situations. But if you want to make a color lighter, the way to do it is actually to thin it with water so that it appears lighter and more paper shows through. While those are drying, I'll show you a couple of other things. Speaking of when I'm on location, I like to paint on location. I travel all over the place and I take this set with me. It is so small it fits in my pocket. What about brushes? Well, brushes can get messed up in your pocket unless you've got some travel brushes. These are a lot of fun. You unscrew them and then you've got the full-size brush and you're ready to go. You have a built-in hole so that you can close them while you're still on location. Let's say it starts raining and you gotta run, which has happened. You can put your brush back together and go. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I always like round brushes. They're the most useful. In your student kit, you did receive 3 other brushes, which are different shapes and sizes. Speaking of travel, I also carry this. It looks like your ordinary travel toothbrush holder, and it is. But inside, I keep my pencils and a stick eraser. Keeps the pencil sharp because there's a piece of cloth in the very, very bottom. And I do carry a sharpener with me, but you have to put that in your suitcase if you're traveling because it is a weapon. You could take over a whole airplane with a sharpener. And lastly, what about water? You can find water almost anywhere, even if you're drinking it. You can pour a little, and a cup this size with a tight-fitting lid is really all you need. You can change the water as often as you want to. When I'm on location, I'll use a small cup like that. If I'm at home, I'll use a larger one like this. Either way, you feel free to change the water as often as necessary. When you're making new colors, it's about wetting a color, putting it in a new place on the palette or inside the lid, and then adding something else to it. It is rare that you will go directly from the paint source, the cake in this case, directly to your paper. Usually, you'll make a puddle of some color here and then apply it to your paper. Toward the very end stages of a drawing, or where you're just really trying to add some fine detail, it's possible that you may go almost directly from your paint source to the paper. In doing that, you'll get much thinner, finer lines that won't bleed.